Hello, my friends. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. My name is Jason. This is the Outstanding Life Show. And I'm trying something different today. I'm actually trying something a little more fun. I'm running out with two different webcams, and then I'm going to have them cycle between each other as we go through. I wanted to do something different with season 2, and so you'll see me running some tests and trying some fun things out, and this is going to be one of them. I did want to go and set up something that's even cooler. Hold on. Now, this is going to be show notes. So we've got, if you go to Facebook and you type in notes in the comments, hey kitty, if you type in notes in the comments, we'll be able to have, kitty, what are you doing? Come here. Come here. That's okay. We'll be able to go and have the notes sent out to you by Facebook Messenger. Or if you're watching over on YouTube, don't worry. We still want you in on the conversation. You'll just have to go to the address above or down below. I don't remember where it is. But it's outstanding.video/notes. And then we'll have the notes sent out to you. And it's by Facebook Messenger. We'll have them delivered to you by. So we're going to go and chat about different topics every month. And so for this month, we're going to be talking about step 1. Kitty, what are you doing? Come here. Come here. That's okay. You're okay. And so with step 1, we'll be talking about, for the month of January, we'll have step 1 as our topic. And then as we move forward through the steps, we'll have step 2 for February, step 3 for March, so on and so forth. Okay, so we'll have a whole bunch of topics by the time we're finished throughout the year, but I did want to go and have short form videos, and then with the short form videos, we'll just have more of them. So my first season 1 was long form videos, but we went deep into those topics. So the idea I had was, let's make shorter episodes and we'll have them more often, and then we'll have a whole bunch of conversations. We'll have a whole bunch of, you guys send me some pretty cool messages, and I want to celebrate that. I want to say, kitty, calm down. What's going on? I wanted to say thank you to you, my community, because the amount of engagement I get from you is actually pretty awesome, and I want to celebrate that. I did want to have, at least once a month, I want to hold a Q&A, because I want to gather some of the questions you've been sharing with me and probing, and then I'm taking those and I'm moving them forward with ideas. So it's literally your engagement is helping shape the outcome that we move forward in. So again, if you have any questions, shoot a message out to me, say hello, let me know what's going on. But every month we're going to have topics, and then those topics are going to change. We're going to have short form videos, and then by the time we're done the month, we would have gone over everything related to that step. Okay, so we had something I want to share, and that is, I'm just going to switch cameras over here. Hold on. There we go. And then, so something we're going to share is our break open in case of emergency. So what do I mean by that? I mean, when it comes to emergencies, because that was today's topic, that was today's main headliner, was, there were times in my recovery where, even though I felt I was doing everything right, even though I felt I was doing all the steps, I still came to the idea that my world was crumbling, that things were not working out well. Now, I don't know if you've ever felt this way, and if you have, let me know in the comments, where even though I'm following the instructions, and now that we bring up instructions, what are your thoughts on those? Because as soon as I get something new, like the first thing I do, as soon as I get something new, and it comes with a box, and then there's some instructions with it, the first thing I do is to take those instructions and I just throw them away. I don't look at them, and I just put them back in the box, and I go get the thing I wanted. And when it comes to recovery, like I don't want to say we don't have instructions. That's not the right description. Like we still do have instructions. Those are the 12 steps. And then there's a whole other one where there's the 12 traditions. But when it comes to the 12 steps, even if we follow, well, I guess a booklet of instructions is the small, tiny white pieces of paper you get when you get an item. You buy a microphone, you get an iPhone. But then when we're in recovery, we don't have a small, tiny booklet. They do have something where they call it a big book. Like they call it the blue book, the big book for short. And the big book, it's got a whole bunch of different versions in it, and there's a whole congregation of people that come to memorize this, and they can quote the pages, and I'm super impressed at how well people can memorize things, and I'm not at that stage yet, but nonetheless, when things are going according to plan, when things are working out well, you're not going to go read the instructions. And in my recovery, when things are going well, I'm not instinctively reaching for the big book. But when things go wrong, like when my phone starts breaking down, I don't want to say I reach for those instructions, but I remember exactly where I put them. Like I know it's in the box, in the corner, next to the other boxes, in the drawer. And that's where I catalog things away. So in recovery, when things are not working well, when things are, in my mind, in my perception, when they're falling apart, I reach for that big book and I go through it. And I'm like, hey, okay, so what part of me is feeling this way? What are some of the questions I'm having? What are some of the things that I'm leading up to as resentments? Or the other part is like, what part of my actions are contributing to this? Am I the one that's at fault? Am I the one that's, I don't want to say leading everything awry, but if I'm the one that's going through this difficult situation, if I'm, when they say the going gets tough, the tough get going, but if I remember in those raw moments when I feel like that my world is falling apart, that I still have a program, it may not be working as designed, but it doesn't mean that there's no program. I do want to work my program. I do want to stand up straight, and I do want to be an upstanding citizen, pay my taxes, all the right things. But not all times is an iPhone going to work. Not all times is a microphone going to work. And so when things start falling apart, I'm reaching for those instructions. So in my recovery, when things are not working out, I reach for this, the Alcoholics Anonymous book. I reach for the big book, and then I go through it. And then the fun part about recovery when I went to treatment is we had these, in high school, when you go and you get those like markers, like those highlighters, that's what it is. You would go through and we would highlight the different areas. You would highlight the different parts that just spoke to us. And so when we went through, we could measure our progress through the big book by how many pages were marked. And I wish there would be something like that for just overall life. But I can appreciate that not everything is going to be in a book. Not everything is going to be on a YouTube video or on Facebook. But there are times when things fall apart. But there is a success plan. Like there is a way to anticipate a positive outcome. Just because things aren't working out well for me in that moment, it doesn't mean that things aren't ever going to work out. Mind you, in the heat of my addiction, that's all I ever see. That's all I'm ever focusing on is just that one event that's right in front of me. I can't see past what I don't understand. And some of the coping mechanisms that I had dealt with, some of the things I was doing to help mitigate that anger, that frustration, that resentment, it wasn't really healthy solutions. It wasn't really anything that was conducive to a healthy, happy life that I wanted to live. So what ended up happening is these stressors, if you imagine them like a big ball and it's like a web, and these stressors would just build upon themselves one after the other until the point that things broke down and then, they collapse, and that's when you hit rock bottom. We'll talk about hitting rock bottom in another episode, but the main thing for me is I can appreciate that things aren't always going to work out. We said that already. And then I can appreciate that there's 12 steps, and that even if I'm following those steps, not all times is everything going to work out. There's going to be times where everything falls apart. But I can appreciate that there's a positive outcome, and that I can act on that outcome by working my program, by showing up to meetings, by reaching out for help, telling a friend, letting them know what my thoughts are, what's going through my head, like right now. And sometimes I can go out, get some exercise. I can get all my food prep out of the way. I can do these things that will help set me up for success in the future, rather than focus on the things that are not working now. I could list a million things right now in my life that are not working, but that doesn't mean that things aren't working out tomorrow. That things are going to, things, I might have a challenging minute, I might have a challenging hour, but there's no such thing as like a challenging day. I can't really have a bad day. I can't have a bad month or a bad year. It's 2019. There's no way I'm going to have a bad year. No way. I'm going to stop myself before that becomes a thing. But I can appreciate that, yes, there are bad moments, and there might even be bad hours, but I'm not going to let things have a bad day. I'm going to still keep working on my program. Even though things might be falling apart, I'm going to go to bed sober, and then tomorrow I'm going to wake up sober. And the next day, that's if that's as far as my attention goes, is I'm just going to focus on that next 24 hours. And then if I try and focus on 45 years of sobriety, I'm probably, that's a lot to kind of absorb. But if I focus on just for today, the next 3 minutes in front of me, the next 3 hours in front of me, the next 3 days in front of me, I'm going to get there. Baby steps, one step at a time. That doesn't say that I'm never going to get stuck in a rut. There's going to be times when I'm not going to totally appreciate the situation I'm in, but I'm going to remember that I have a program. Like the whole ritual about going to treatment was to get myself into, I don't want to say conditioning, but I was able to help build that foundation of having a ritual that I can count on. A ritual of looking after myself, getting fit, eating healthy, planning my meals, going to my meetings, going and having that sense of accountability, giving back, things like this. These are some things that help add value, and I see a lot of reward from it. And sometimes that's hard when I'm feeling stuck in a rut. And it's important to identify that I'm feeling stuck in a rut. That doesn't actually mean that I am in a rut. Like mentally, I might be at that roadblock, but I don't want to let that roadblock make decisions for me. Because if I'm making a decision when I'm warm, cozy in my bed, whether or not I should go work out at the gym, I'm probably not going to get out of bed. I'm probably going to want to stay in bed if I make the decision to go to the gym if I'm still in bed. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I want to challenge myself to push through it. So yes, I'll identify I might be stuck in that moment. I might have a bad minute or a bad hour, but I'm not going to have a bad day. I'm not going to have a bad month or a bad year. And I can't, how do I say this? Like, I can't choose the events that happen to me, but I can choose the meanings that I associate to these events. So something catastrophic might happen. I might have a setback or a roadblock, but I'm not going to let that roadblock stop my journey entirely. I'm not going to let that setback cripple the whole outcome that I expect is my recovery. My recovery means more than this roadblock. I've associated way more to my recovery than I do this small bump in the road. Even if it is something that's crazy and shifts my life and changes, I know that I can work through it. I know that I've got the tools, I got the support system. I've got an amazing group around me. It's great. I have you guys. So with that, there's more out there than just trials and tribulations. There's more out there than just these negative outcomes. So when I say when I'm feeling stuck in a rut, that doesn't mean that I let that rut make a decision for me. But I'll use that rut. I'll use that emotion to want to propel me forward, to push me through this. Because it's going to take work to get through this. Get this recovery business, it doesn't get any easier. But it does. I just get stronger. and I don't get stronger unless I keep going. I'm going to fall down, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to get back up. There's going to be challenging moments, just like we said. There's going to be stuck in a rut moments, but I'm not going to make the decision to stay there while I'm in that rut. I'm going to do what I can to push through it. I'm going to do what I can to make it to the next day. Go to bed sober, wake up sober, rinse, wash, repeat. Let me know if that makes any sense to you. Let me know if you're enjoying this. I do have the show notes saved, and I can have them sent out to you by Facebook Messenger. Just type notes in the comments. Or if you're watching on YouTube, go visit the link, outstanding.video/show, and then we'll have them sent out to you by Facebook Messenger. Okay, so with season 2, another thing I'm doing that's fun is I'm actually going to have these a gratitude of the day, and I'm also going to have an action of the day. So for my gratitude of the day, I'm just going to read it here. I'm thankful for remembering to follow the instructions from the big book, and I appreciate that I can recognize a situation when I need those instructions the most. So I want to pause there for a minute, because recognizing a situation when I need help, identifying when those instructions should be used is huge. Because if I'm making the decision to stay in the rut from within the rut, I'm never going to get out of it. I don't want to be stuck in a rut forever. Okay, so before we finish up, we do have one more thing. We have an action of the day. And today's action is I'm going to celebrate today by taking time to read the 12 steps. And I don't want to say I don't say don't ever not read them, but there are moments where it's good to brush up on them. And I make time every day to make sure I focus on what those steps are, and then I'll help shape them into my daily life. I'll help shape them into an outcome. I was talking with a friend of mine, and she was asking me, are you done working the 12 steps? And my natural reaction was like, oh yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done my recovery. I've done going through rehab, if that's what you're asking. But the 12 steps themselves, I'm never really finished. I'm always looking at it, reviewing it, and folding that into my daily outcome. And so while I said, yes, I've been through rehab, no, I'm not done recovery, because I never get to recovery. Recovery is something I'm doing every day. Okay, so thanks so much for hanging out. If you're new here, my name is Jason. This is the Outstanding Life Show. I want to take a minute and celebrate you for showing up and hanging out. Let me know in the comments if you like this, or shoot me a message. I love all the engagement you guys send out, but I want to take a minute. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm going to catch you later. I'll watch you, or I hope you like this so much you want to watch another episode. But let me know what your thoughts are about this. Okay, take care. Have fun. Bye.